How's it going, everyone? My name is Jacob Rothenberg, and I am someone that makes money by uploading and marketing books on Amazon. So I've been doing this for several years now, almost 4 years at the time I'm filming this. And I have both written my own books and outsourced the writing to then upload as a book and then market it. And I've made a six-figure income doing that. I think my W-2 from Amazon last year was around 225,000, not including ACX for the audiobooks. That's gross, not net, but a lot of that was net. So it was a way for me to quit my job and live the life now where I just work for myself and I live comfortably. I'm not a millionaire yet, but I am comfortable. So the reason why I'm making this video is because I spoke with my acquaintance, Matthew Cox, over the phone today. Matthew Cox happens to be one of the most infamous con men in history, and he defrauded the government out of $40 million. Just a good friend. And as a viewer of my channel, he brought up, well, Jacob, you're giving all this general advice about, making a brand and using social media to promote your books, but it's like for newer people watching, I don't think you as a new viewer might know how I've actually made my money and what processes I use to make a book successful. So I'm gonna do kind of like a mini series on books that I've either written myself or have used ghostwriters for, and then break down the process on how I was able to make a either a self-written book or a ghostwritten book substantially successful. Now, by successful, I don't mean selling a million copies a year, because if I did that, I wouldn't be a YouTuber. I would be a writer. But I define a book being successful, making at least 4 times ROI with regards to spend. And what I'm going to show you is one book that I wrote 3.5 years ago that has made me a little over $10,000. Now, again, $10,000 to someone looking to be a millionaire from publishing books doesn't sound like a lot, but this was a book I wrote myself in 3 weeks, and it cost me, I think, $50 to produce because I paid for the formatting to be done. So let me substantiate what I'm saying, because I also realize people want to see how much I actually make from Amazon. So I don't want to be a dashboard flexer, but this is my dashboard for this particular book that I'll be talking about today, called Eat, Cleanse, Shred Hard, the guide for steroid use in powerlifting. If you don't know me, I used to be a competitive powerlifter for 10 years, 10 and a half, and I used to be a bad man. I have my elite classification. Best lifts of a 633 squat, 424 bench, and 633 deadlift. So I can move weights, and I still can if I had to, but I choose not to. So I published this book in April of 2017. I think I got started writing it right after I came back from Israel, so mid-March, and then I got it out in April. And I actually did also promote this book for free, but just to show you the sales, I got my launch out, got 891 free copies of the book out to help promote it. But here are my overall sales. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm James Patterson or someone legendary, but what I am showing you is that I've been able to write a book that has had consistent income over the period of 3.5 years. And I think this cuts off until July, so we don't have August showing here, but that's okay. And the reason why I have all titles here, this is for both the ebook counterpart and the paperback. So I'm showing you the sales for ebook and paperback. So the gray bars are my paperback sales. Ebook is in orange. One might ask why I don't have the ebook sold after January 2019. I had a glitch with the with the metadata, and I didn't want to get banned from Amazon. So it's a long story, but basically, I was always making money from the ebook uh, to a lesser degree than the paperback, and of course, audiobook. So my audiobook for this has done exceptionally well. Over 1,700 copies sold on Audible. No promo code, scammy, fake review, fake sales, BS. Real sales, 17 bounties just from this book with over 1,700 units moved. I never used a fake review or fake bullshit, whatever, to promote this book. And my sales are real. If I were to count my paperback and ebook sales in addition to the audio, I can substantiate just gauging off this. I've made over $10,000 from this book. So, as far as income proof, there you go. Now, let's talk about what is actually educational for you. So, I will break down the whole process that I use to identify okay, this is something that I not only want to write about, but I think there's opportunity to make money on Amazon based on this idea that I had. So, this is going to defy a little bit of what I teach others in like keyword research and stuff, but keep in mind this was back in 2017, April 2017. I hadn't even bought anyone's course yet or whatever. I was just kind of winging it, okay? So my methodology back then is not as was not as solid as it is now, but hey, I was at the right place at the right time and I made a lot of money writing my own book. So I'm just going to go into the keyword powerlifting. It's not going to be a really accurate depiction of what I was looking at from 2017 compared to now, because we've had books published from 2017 up until now in powerlifting. But what I saw at the time was that you had all these books on powerlifting, right? Except at the time in 2017, there was no book about steroid usage specifically for powerlifting. Now, at the time I'm filming this, there seems to be this book about big and strong without steroids. My book is about being big and strong with steroids, because steroids are awesome. Anyway, so that was my idea. And, as someone, as an outsider, would not realize this as like an opportunity because, look, I was the athlete. I was someone that knew what was going on in the scene, in the sport. And I knew, okay, I know a lot of lifters want to know more about steroid use in this sport. I have firsthand experience and I know what the top guys are doing just because I was networked with them. I didn't rat anyone out. I didn't disclose anyone's cycles or anything like that. But I knew what was going on and what top lifters were taking. I had some of the top lifters in the world as teammates. So without calling out anyone or exposing anyone, I decided to write a guide about general benefits, side effects, and expectations of what you can experience running different steroid compounds. Because without getting too technical, steroids are not like one size fits all. There's different types of steroids and stuff. So if I go to Eat Clean, Train Hard, there's different types of steroids you can take. So after between like let's say 12 different choices, maybe less than that, you would want to say like, well, should I take this testosterone or should I take DECA? Should I take more testosterone and less DECA? Should I take tren with the test and cut out the DECA? This book answers that for you. Now, again, I'm not a medical professional. I wrote this book under a pen name, meaning JR Muscle Bear is not my real name. But I did want to get the info out semi-anonymously. And because I'm not a medical professional, I'm just giving first-hand experience as an athlete with regards to educational and entertainment purposes only. So with that idea, I then decided, well, how am I going to come up with the content for my book? So what I did was outline my table of contents. So I came up with steroid profiles overall and the different types of steroids. So without really iterating all the different types. There are a lot of different types. And then with that, I also had some of their bonus content I wanted to include with like different cycles people could run. Again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just like giving this for entertainment purposes only. And like these were cycles that were very, I mean, we could go into a whole moral debate, but I wanted if anyone were to do this and like they were going to do it anyway, right? Because people are going to do these things anyway, like drugs. At least do it from like a semi-responsible standpoint. So that was my stance. If you're going to do this anyway, if you're going to fuck yourself up with drugs, there is a lesser damaging way of doing them compared to how you were going to do them anyway. So that was the premise behind my intention there. So I wrote out all these different steroids and then benefits, side effects. And, you know, my formatting wasn't perfect at the time. I was just starting out, but I thought, well, and actually I did format this book. I'll explain that in a bit. But I just came up with the content by writing out the table of contents as my outline. And then I just started writing away. So I have my intro, and whether we would like it or not, steroid use is here to stay in powerlifting. Just the way it is, guys. I'm not here to like debate you guys on steroid use because I've got my own opinion. You might have yours, and I don't give a fuck about yours. So let's not discuss it here on YouTube. But from there, I wrote about different cycles, blah, blah, blah. And then that was pretty much it. So as far as writing the book, that was it. And then I even had my back cover description that I wrote based on the description I did on Amazon. And again, this is before taking anyone's stupid course on Kindle publishing. All I did was write something a little bit like a sales letter. If you want to learn how anabolic steroids are used in the sport of powerlifting and blah, 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 gave these benefits, then you'll want to read this book. Like, well, gosh, this is the first ever book published about steroid use for powerlifting. And, well, it says I want to learn about the benefits specific to this sport. I guess I better buy the book because there's no medical journal, there's no official medical study showing like the benefits of all these different steroids or the side effects of all these different steroids. You've just got like bro science. So this book covers it, and yeah, you could say it is a bro science book, meaning it's not backed up by actual medical studies and such, but it's only $16. Wouldn't you want to learn the Pandora's box of powerlifting for $16? Just buy the book, right? Or buy the audiobook. And people did. So that's how it worked. 46 reviews, not all good. But that's okay. This is a real book. And so from there, I'll show how I got this book created. So first, the cover. I thought at the time in 2017 this was a good cover, even though it looks kind of shitty now when I look at it. But all I did on Canva, and this is the actual template, the same template I used 3.5 years ago, is I had my book created on Canva with a black cover. I just took a stock image of a vial and a syringe with a blue liquid, which is ironic because steroids are oil-based or water-based, but the oil base is usually gold, whatever. And then I just wrote out the typography, E-Clench and Hard, the guide for steroid use in powerlifting, GR Muscle Bear. Now, even though this cover is super basic, it actually took me a week to come up with this because I'm retarded when it comes to design. But hey, cut me some slack. I didn't know what I was doing. And I made this cover for free in a week. Now I could probably do this in 2 minutes, but it took me a week. And then I just clicked download and I saved it as a JPEG file that I could use to upload for my ebook and my paperback. So as far as creating the cover, that's what I did. I've covered the content creation on, I wrote this book, so that's a given. I didn't pay for editing, but I did have reviewers read this book in advance for free, and they pointed out typos for me to get this book grammatically correct with no missing punctuation, etc., etc. So I'll show you that next. How I marketed this book and how it gained the momentum that it still has up until now and why this book still sells. Now, I'm on a site called Reddit at reddit.com. And this is basically a mega site where there are different forums on different topics on basically virtually anything you want to talk about. You can have a message board on reddit.com. And I was a regular on reddit.com in the powerlifting section. So after being buddy-buddy with everyone, I figured I could promote my book by simply asking permission from moderators first that, hey, can I self-promote a little bit? I'm going to give away something for free. And from there, I was able to promote to an audience of 172,000 members. Might have been less, but you get it. I had over 100,000 members to market my book to. And, I did write a little bit of a sales pitch, but instead of selling it at full price, I gave away the book for free. Now, in exchange for this being free, I kindly ask that you write an honest review about it on Amazon. So from there, I think I had, as I showed you, if I turn this on, I had in day one, 891 free downloads, and then I think I had some controversy after that first day. But basically, I was able to get 891 people to download the book for free, and it yielded a good amount of reviews. Again, not all good, because if you have a book that has a lot of reviews and they're all real, you're not going to have everyone loving your book. I mean, come on, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but people, The Godfather was probably one of the finest books and films ever made, and I'm sure there's some people out there that think Godfather's a shit movie, but I digress. So, so I did get reviews, good and bad, mostly good. So I have 446 real reviews on Amazon, and that helped me market the book and get it, really get it going on the store. I was not able to run ads for this book. I've never spent a single advertising dollar on this book, and I can substantiate that because this is a book about steroids, it's about drugs. You cannot advertise on Amazon's platform about a book about content related to drugs. So this was completely organic. I then, in June, had the audiobook version finished. I'm showing you another keyword I did. But I had this audiobook finished. And the audiobook, without spending a penny on marketing it, took off. Because, shit, everyone has a couple hours to learn about steroids for powerlifting as a powerlifter. I mean, I would have bought this book. Like, for $10, you can hear someone that went through the sport, had some decent numbers, and is like doing an expose on steroids. Like, and hey, a lot of people are on steroids, believe it or not. So, whether this book helped people or not, it's debatable. But that's what I did. As far as the formatting, I went on a site called Fiverr at fiverr.com, fiverr.com, to get the book formatted. So that's why the table of contents looks a little weird. This is not how I do it nowadays, but I didn't know what I was doing back then. So I had that formatted. The typography is something that the formatter chose, and the font and the alignment's justified. Not my style, but that's how this ended up being produced. Can I produce a better book now? Hell yeah, I can. I wrote an arguably better book than this that has sold less, but I think is my finest work. But another topic. But basically, guys, that's how I made over $10,000 from a book I wrote myself, and I spent $50 to have it formatted. Isn't that something that would benefit you in your life? Take 3 weeks, 4 weeks to write a 10,000 word book. Take 2 months, 3 months to write a 20,000, 30,000 word book and get it out there. My business partner who writes romance, she can write a 50,000 word book in 1 month. Now, given fiction is different from nonfiction, but if you want to really make money online and you don't have the monetary ability to do so, write the book yourself. I did it. It's how I got started with having the funds to then outsource my writing. And um, I mean, I do have a college education. I have my MBA, but anyone can write a book. You don't have to have gone to college to write a book. Anyone can write a book, right? So what's stopping you? So that's what I've got to say on that. On my next video related to this topic, I will show you a book that I had ghostwritten and walk you through the process. But I did want to prove that you can be successful on Amazon with a book you write yourself without spending a single penny on, if not very little on. Like anyone in America, I think, can afford $50 to have a book produced, right? So that's my spiel. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, where I'm most accessible. I do answer questions in the comments below on this video. I do have a course on Kindle publishing. It's only $47. Also, below the video in the description, 30-day money-back guarantee. Either benefit from the course or just ask me for a refund. You've got 30 days to do it. It's $47. So if it benefits you, great. If it doesn't, okay, ask for a refund. So that is going to be it for now. Let me know what you want to see in terms of content if you are a new viewer, and I'll do my best to serve you and give you some good stuff. So that's it, guys. Eat clean, train hard, stay in the gym, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you later. Take care.